Howdy my friends, it has been a long time since I've done a long format video. Got some changes coming in the next few days that need to make sure all my cameras still work. So to do that, we're going to review this EcoFlow Delta 2. This is one of two that I've purchased. It is the 2700 watt, it's the 1024 watt hour. It's the small Delta 2, it's not the Pro or the Max. But let's talk about what I think of these things and how I'm using them. So basically, I got two of these because we have a lot of power issues out here. I have generators, yes, but the problem with the generators are they're not inverter generators. And I also want to find a way to move away from gas. It gets loud, it gets expensive to use over time. So I purchased two of these because I want to be able to keep working in the event of power outages. And I figure these can be used to support my computer and monitor. And this is going to be my unit. My wife has the other unit. That's all they come with, those two right there. Box empty. So I got my wife's hooked up just to see how they work, but there's some stuff I couldn't figure out on photos on Amazon, so I thought I would share what I'm running into with this unit. No issues, just questions, and it ends up being exactly what I wanted. They came, the other one came charged at like 29 or 30%. Let's see what this one has on it. That's 28%, so really close. But one of the questions I had on this unit is, how do I connect this to the computer? Because all the pictures online show the front with the built-in stuff. You guys can see all that elsewhere. And they have this picture of the side, which is where you connect the extended batteries, should you have them, which I do not, don't need it for my use case. What they don't show, that I've been able to find, is the back. This is how you can actually connect everything. So, got two plugs. I plugged her computer into one, her monitor into the other. These other plugs aren't used because I just wanted her computer and monitor in case we lost power. And then we can plug the power in. And the way I'm using this, I take my UPS, plugs into the wall, and then this charging port goes into the UPS, and this goes to the computer. So if I lose power, the UPS will run this until the UPS is dead, which gives about 2 hours of runtime, and then this will run her computer and monitor. Quick testing, 2-3 days. I think she'll get about 10 hours out of this alone, plus the UPS will give us about 12 hours of runtime for her laptop and her monitor. I'm impressed with this thing so far. There's not a whole lot to say about it. It's pretty small. Is it super light? No, but it is pretty light comparatively to other stuff. I think you could charge it via solar and AC. Don't quote me on this. Simultaneously from looking at the app. They say you can do more stuff on the app than you can on this box itself, and yes, that is true. Something I've learned. My UPS does not like this thing trying to charge at full power. It just kills that UPS straight off. So in the app, I can go through and lower this down to 200 watts was the lowest the lowest this would go, which corresponds to the highest the UPS would support. You can take the little slider and slide it back to like 250, but if you're 251, it pops up to 300. If you're 249, it drops down to 200. So you apparently, even though the slider lets you go in between the 100 marks, you can't do the 100 marks. And here is my wife's Delta 2. I named it Wendys Delta 2 because this one will become Eric Delta 2. And you can see some stats on this. There's two different home screens I've seen on this. They basically show the same info. One looks prettier. It has little lines like an old Prius that says power coming in, battery's full, power going out. So it's kind of neat, but this one, I like being able to see the hours. I don't think these hours are accurate because it is actually plugged into power right now. So I think this 98 and 59 is some type of max thing. But what we can see right now is with her monitor on and her laptop on, we're using 75 watts, which is good information to know because now I know I could plug in a 100 watt solar panel and theoretically run her work setup completely off of a single solar panel. And I'm sucking in 75 watts from the UPS, which is nice. And this is why I say I think, see solar 0 AC 75, this layout makes me think that you can run solar and AC simultaneously, something I'll check down the road. Now if I go into settings, one of the things I've noticed is, this is what I was talking about right here. I can adjust this slider for how fast the EcoFlows charge. Unfortunately, with my UPS, it's a smaller one. If I crank this thing up anywhere beyond 200 watts, UPS cuts off. It cannot output more than 200 watts. But that's okay, because her laptop and monitor is using 75 watts. I've seen it go as high as 110, but on average it's usually 75 to 85. This 200 will never be a problem. Theoretically, right? Knock on wood, now it will be a problem now that I've said that. But you can take the slider and you can slide it to other numbers. I don't know if you can see, I got 290, 240. But if I let go, it pops back to 200. Even though it lets you slide into the incremental numbers, it only lets you stay at the hundreds is what I've seen. 200, 300, 400. Why don't they just only have you go to those numbers? I don't know. Kind of a tease. But anyway, this unit has been quiet at 200 watt. So the charging, there is fans. If you put it all the way up, when I first plug this in, it's 29% as you saw. When I first plug this bad boy in, it's going to be pretty loud for its initial charge at 1200 watt charging. I don't need that. Crank it down to 200, it charges quieter, which has been good for us. So I did also turn off X Boost. This lets me have this guy run at more than the rated 1800 watt. That's where they get this silly, well, maybe not silly for some use cases, but see, it says 2700 watt. That's like with X, see, tiny surge up here. See, it says surge 2700. That's the X Boost stuff. And it's got a bunch of other stuff on here. One of the things I also found from my use case using this as a basically a UPS, there's a lab features. This was off by default, AC always on. I toggled this on. That's AC always on was off. I toggled this on so that if this does run out of power and turn off, as soon as it has power again, it turns itself back on. I don't know why they call it a lab. Maybe it's a test thing. I hope it never disappears, but I'm using that. And these automated tasks, I'm not quite sure what these are yet. I'm not using them. Maybe I'll learn those someday. So far, I'm happy with this guy. I'm liking this EcoFlow. And I do like how I can plug the power in this acts just like a UPS. And then I can run her machine off of these. Theoretically, this will charge with a non-inverter generator, but some of the stuff I've read is you got to be careful with that because you can damage the batteries in this. I don't know how I'm going to handle that situation down the road if we need more than 10 hours. I've gone multiple days without power, but I'm hoping I can maybe run a cable to this. I don't know if that's a standard solar connection or not. We'll see, but I'm hoping I can connect this up to that little briefcase style solar panel setup I have. I think it's 150 watts. Got it from somewhere. Can't remember where I got it from. Never even actually opened the box. Got it off of Woot. Can't remember who it is. We'll see if I can tie it into this, and maybe I can run a cable from something onto here to let this charge. And then if I lose power, I just don't try and charge this off the generators that we're going to use for the rest of the house. The external batteries would be nice. They're almost as expensive as these things. But so far, after a few days, I'm happy with this. What else did we get? Got this handy little box. I mean, literally, padding. Inside that box is some packaging to keep this thing protected in shipping. The unit itself, small packet with a warranty card, a little box. But what we get in here, a nice hefty power cord, Velcro. I like this cord. Little things, right? Silly, but protector on the ends is nice. We have this, I guess if you want to charge it off the car. This is that adapter that they have. And then I'm not quite sure, I someday have to actually read the manual. I'm not sure what this cable's for. Maybe a heartbeat cable if you have the external battery run this so they can talk to each other. This is what you get. Looks like a charger for a car that I'll probably never use. I'm not quite sure what that is. I have suspicions. Power cord, main unit, and some books. Gotta say, so far happy. I will see what I think of this over time. I'll set it up better once we are in a more permanent location, which is videos starting very, very soon on that topic.